Why do you always ask if everything's okay? If you've ever said this to someone, stop for a moment. Because people who constantly search for validation are fighting a battle you can't see. And once you understand what's happening inside their mind, everything about them suddenly makes sense. Let me ask you something. Have you ever sent a message and then immediately checked if it sounded stupid? Or replayed a conversation in your head? Or felt uneasy until someone said, "Yeah, you did fine"? If yes, you're already halfway inside their world. Here's the part nobody talks about. Validation seekers love deeply, but they fear losing love even more. A delayed reply feels like rejection. A different tone feels like anger. A simple, "I'm busy," can feel like abandonment. It's not drama. It's their attachment system firing alarms. Ask them who they are, and they'll hesitate. Not because they're undecided, but because they've always lived through a mirror. If they like me, I'm okay. If they don't, I'm not. Their self-worth is outsourced, built from feedback, not identity. At some point, the seeking becomes exhausting. They feel empty when no one reassures them. They feel anxious when no one is watching. And worst of all, they feel invisible when no one validates them. This is emotional burnout, a crash caused by constant self-doubt. Before you judge someone who constantly needs reassurance, pause. They're not clingy. They're not dramatic. They're not attention-seeking. They are healing from years of feeling not enough. Validation isn't their addiction. It's their bandage. Here's the truth they eventually learned. Validation is not the enemy. Dependence is. The real power comes when they start asking themselves, do I think I did well? Do I like who I am? Because the moment they stop chasing external approval, they discovered that self-worth was inside them the entire time. Here's where it gets interesting. People who need validation weren't born this way. They were trained this way. Somewhere in childhood, a silent rule was written. If others approve of me, I'm safe. If they don't, something is wrong. This rule changes everything. Imagine a child showing their drawing. If the parent says, "Good, now try harder next time," the child learns approval is conditional. If the parent says nothing, the child learns silence equals failure. And if the parent only praises perfection, the child thinks, "I'm only loved when I impress." This is the start of the validation loop. Every validation seeker has a moment they don't remember clearly, but their nervous system never forgot. It could be a harsh comment, a comparison, a rejection. From that day on, they became hyper-aware of how others see them, not for attention, but for survival. Inside their mind, there's a constant conversation. Is this right? Did I upset them? Should I apologize? Why hasn't he replied yet? It's not insecurity. It's a lack of self-trust, a belief that everyone else knows better than they do. Here's the twist. Every time someone validates them, "Good job. I agree. You did great," their brain gives them a dopamine reward, a quick emotional high. But the high fades fast, so they ask again and again until validation becomes emotional oxygen. You know what they're truly afraid of? Not criticism, not judgment, but rejection. Rejection hits them like a threat. It reminds them of childhood moments when love felt uncertain. So they try to avoid conflict, mistakes, and risk, not because they're weak, but because they fear being left behind. Let me paint this. You say something normal, they hear it, and suddenly their mind goes, "Why did they say it like that? Are they annoyed? Did I ruin something?" Overthinking is their nervous system scanning for danger. It's not overreaction. It's self-protection. Let me paint this. You say something normal, they hear it, and suddenly their mind goes, "Why did they say it like that? Are they annoyed? Did I ruin something?" Overthinking is their nervous system scanning for danger. It's not overreaction. It's self-protection.